In a video last week, we were a bit let's say caught up, but in today's video, like we will try and cover as much as topics as we can. Yeah, so we will be bringing last week's let's say last week video inside this video. So this video will actually encompass two let's say chapters. So I actually wanted to combine these two videos to, let's say, form it as one so that we can just understand what we mean. So this video is actually for menu button and the menu widget. So the menu button widget and the menu widgets are all widgets in the Tkinter GUI. So it's very important to look at these widgets. So we'll be looking at these two widgets, how to use them, so how they actually work together and so on. So that's what we'll be doing in this video. Welcome back. So as I said earlier on, we'll be looking at the menu button and the menu widget. So these two are what we'll be looking at in this video. So quickly, let's look at how to go about it. So just do what we always do. So from Tkinter, then we just import our star. Okay, so for all components, now I will name my app to be app, giving us tk, then parenthesis, closing it. Okay, so this, like previously, this like shortly how we do Tkinter always. So if you don't know how to do this, you just go to the Tkinter GUI lecture 1 on my YouTube channel. Okay, so simple. So now I have this. So as we do always, we just create a variable and we store the widget inside, or we pass the widget inside. So let's look at. So as I always say, the widget starts with a cap. So I will just name a variable name as file menu. Then I will say the menu button. So I'm starting with a capital M, since you should use the capital M. Now the menu button is actually not spaced out or not separated by underscore, so it's just together, but the button is in, let's say, small case. Okay, so we have menu button here. Okay, so as we always do, the first parameter of each widget is the parent parameter, which is the master, or which is the app name. So the app name here is the app. So as you can see, I have app here, so I will just pass it here. So app. Now this button actually, so you can assume this as a button. So as we have done with buttons, so you know buttons has let's say the app name. We can also have the text, so that's the text option. So you can also have text. So now let's say I want to do it as let's say file. Okay, so it should be string rather, so file. Okay, so this is my text. Now you can also specify width, border, and so on, as we did in the button widget. So I won't go on further with this, so I'll just skip it. Now when we were talking about buttons, I mentioned something like the relief option. So the relief option actually, let's say when you are squeezing an orange, yeah, so when you are squeezing an orange, you tend to put pressure on the orange, so it tends to squeeze. But when you release it, it tends to, let's say, expand. So it's the same feature as we are talking about here. So I will actually specify the relief button here. So then let's say change it and see what is going on. Okay, so I'll just do relief here. Okay, so relief. Sorry, so relief. Okay, so now the relief, but the value of the relief button is actually all in caps. So we have sunken, we have let's say okay, so sunken, and let me see, let me check. Relief button has actually two values, the sunken and the let's say raised. So as I explained with the orange example, so when you, let's say, put pressure on it, it means you are sunken it. But when you, let's say, release the pressure, you are just raising it. So that's what we are saying. Okay, so I'll just pass sunken here and see actually what we are doing here. So I will just pack this up. So file, underscore menu dot pack. So we just want to see what is happening, so I'll just go to the run button and just run this. Okay, so quickly let's go. Okay, so actually, okay, so actually I have it here. So as you can see, sunken. So actually you can see the button is pressed inside the background, so it's like it's as let's say gone into the back, so it has been pressed. Okay, so let's say I'm using the raised here, so instead of sunken I'll just pass raised. Okay, now let's go. Okay, okay, so as you can see, it has been raised here. So depending on what you are using it for, you just specify your relief type and see what you want to do. So simple. So here I'll just remove the release option. Okay, I'll just keep it for now, then see what we will do next. Okay, so actually I'm done with the relief option. Okay, so let's look at how we can go about the menu button. So we have actually defined our menu button, so that's what we saw up there. So it's more like a button. Yeah, so it's more like a button, but we need to specify some options to, let's say, get on. Okay, so like I have just introduced the menu button, so we know how to create it. It's so simple, so it's just like a button. So actually let me run it again and see how it's working like. So okay, so it's actually too small here. I'll just specify the geometry here. So I have dot geometry. Okay, now I'll just pass in let me see, my English is actually not good. So geometry. Okay, geometry. Okay, yeah, now I'll pass 400 by 400 here. So 400 by 400, so you just type in 400 x 400. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, so it's actually better now. Now let's see. So you can see I'm just clicking, so but it's just like the button, so it's just like the button. So yeah, okay, so we are done with how let's say to create the menu button. Now let's look at how to utilize it. So let's say I have an app, then if you know let's say the Tkinter let's or the Python official interpreter, you know what I'm talking about. So actually let's go into it now. So I'll just let me open it here. So let me see. Okay, so I actually loading. Okay, so I have it here. So as you can see, you can see some buttons here, or you can see some, let's say, sections up there. These are all created using let's say the menu button. So this is actually a menu button. So when you click something, you can see you have these options. So we actually gonna create some in this video. So it's pretty simple. So we will just go on to it and see how we can just do it. Okay, so we'll be creating something like this. So actually I won't go further with this, so I'll just teach the basis for you to understand, and then let's say work on more projects using this. Okay, so this is just the menu button I'm talking about. So what you want to do with it, you just do with it. So this is it. Okay, so now let me close it. Okay, so now as I have this here, so I will look at how I'll make this work. So up till now we have just created a button, so now let's just create the menu itself. So the menu itself is actually also a widget inside the Tkinter GUI. So we can also create the menu here. So let's say file. So instead of, I'll just do file button here is to make it not confusing. So file button, then I'll just do file button. Okay, then I will just do file menu here, file menu. Okay, so as I always say, when you are writing the widget name, you start with a capital, so menu. So the menu widget is actually just menu, so you just do menu. Now when you are done with the menu, you just pass, let's say, the menu button, or you just pass what you want to do as the menu. So here I want to just pass the file menu here. Okay, so file menu button here. Okay, so I'm actually wrong here. So as I always say, the first parameter of each widget is the app name, so I'll just pass the app name here. Okay, now what I have to do is I have actually created a menu here, which is file menu. I need to add it to the menu button, so I'll just do. So the menu is actually an option inside the file menu or the menu button. So the menu button is the parent one, and the option, like, so text is an option of the menu button, relief is an option of the menu button. So these are options, so the menu is actually an option inside the menu button. So I'll just do something like, so when you have a dictionary and you want to, let's say, assign a value to a key, you just do the variable name, then square bracket, you pass the option. So I'll just do file menu button here, then square brackets, so I'll pass menu, so that will be my key. Then after passing the key, I'll just do file menu. Okay, so file menu. Okay, so I have this. So actually, let's look at how this is looking at. So I'm not gonna see anything here, so let me see. Okay, so it's taking like forever. Oh, okay, so as I said, I'm not gonna see anything here. So actually we need to add something to it so that it make it lively. So there are ways to add, let's say, what we saw in the Python interpreter, the official interpreter, what you saw in there. So we just do, what we have here is the file menu. So I'll just do file menu. So now I need to add, let's say, simple, let's say, links, or let me say, just labels inside there. So when I click the menu button, I can see a drop down showing things. So I'll just do, so don't worry about this now. I'll just choose the add command for now. So add command. Now I'll pass a label option here. So I'll just actually teach you what this means. So it just just gap with this for now. So label, then I'll say, okay, new. Okay, so then I'll add another one also. So let me see. Okay, so add another one. Okay, so I'll just do it as save. Okay, so actually this is really cool. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, so let me click it. Okay, so it's not working. So let's look at what we are doing. Okay, so I just realized something. So when you are actually, let's say, when I'm doing this, I'm creating just a menu inside our app, but we don't want it like that. So we want a menu inside our menu button. So I'll just pass the menu button widget variable here. So file underscore menu instead. So file underscore menu underscore button. So instead of the app name, you just pass the menu button here. So let me run this again. Okay, so let me click. Okay, so it's working now. So actually it's so simple. You just create your menu button. So the menu button will serve as a button. So when you click it, you see a drop down. So actually the drop down is your menu. So what you add in the menu will be what will appear in the let's say drop down. Okay, so as you can see, I had a menu button here which I set it to raise. Then I said, okay, let me create a menu here. So the menu will actually contain my drop down. Then okay, this is what we actually did in this video. So in our next section we will look at how we what actually this is about, and I will explain the ad and so on. So let's look at it. Previous section we actually did some dangerous stuff here but pretty so simple, so I'll just go through it with you, and very simple. Okay, so I'll actually bring some comments here so that it will actually make it self-explanatory here. So this is actually the menu button, so just like a button. Yeah, then I'll just place this also. So this is just like a menu. Okay, so this is the menu. Okay, so let's see, then I'll just do the passing menu as option in menu button. Okay, so yeah, I think that's that. Okay, and last one, there's the adding adding stuffs oh sorry, adding stuffs to menu. Okay, now actually this is just packing it, so I don't need to explain it. Okay, so this is the part of our, let's say, menu button or the menu button video. Okay, menu button and menu widget video. Okay, so it's very simple. So you just think of it as a button. So let's say I have a button, and let's say as we did in the button widget, we just pass a command option to just do whatever we want to do. So it's simply like this. So the menu button is actually the widget. Now the menu button widget actually has these options. So we have the app, which is the parent or the master option. Then we have the text option, we have the relief option. So the relief, as I explained earlier, we can also have more than these options. So we can have border, size, and so on. So you can just try it on your own. Now after doing this, we need to create a menu to serve as a drop down. So as I just showed you in the Python interpreter official, let's say, software, you when I clicked on the file, I saw some drop down. So to, let's say, to bring the effect of the drop down, you just create a menu. So that's the menu widget. So the menu widget is what we have done here. So we just do file menu. So this is just the variable name. Now we just do menu. So as I already said, when you are creating a widget, you just start with the capital, so menu, then you pass the menu button inside the parentheses. So here, instead of passing the app name, you pass the file menu button, which is the menu button variable. So you pass it here. Now after creating your menu, you just let's say pass it as a value to the menu key in your menu button. So now I have something like the menu option inside my menu here. So instead of this, I can just write it here as menu. So I can just pass it as menu here. Then I will just place the file underscore menu here. But this is actually efficient. Okay, so I will just do this so as I did here. Now when I come to adding stuff to menu, it's pretty simple. You are just adding some stuff. So this add command is actually a straight command option. So as you have it here, I have a new let's say, so the add command actually takes two options. We have the label option and we have the command option. So the label option actually let's say takes what you want to show the command as. So I want to show the command as new, so that's what will be appearing. So let me run this code and see. So as you can see, this is appearing new and save. So this is what is appearing. Okay, so now, so these are the labels. Now I have to pass a command to do something. So let's say I want to pass a command. I pass the command option, command. Okay, now I'll just do equal to. Okay, so equal to like this. Now I'll just create a function here, pretty simple. So def, I'll say change. So I'll be changing colors. Okay, so as we have done earlier on, So I'll just do color. Okay, I will not pass any parameter yet, so I'll just do, let me say, let me import random here to randomize it. So when I click it, I just random it. Okay, so import random. Okay, so let me do it straight. So from random import randint. Okay, randint. Okay, now I've actually imported my randint. Now I'll just do number being equal to, let me see, so I will just pretty make it simple. So I will just do rand int, then I'll pass only 0 to, let me say, 2. Okay, no, so 0 to 2. Now I'll just define my list here. So list colors. Okay, list colors being equal to, now I'll pass a blue, I'll pass a red, then I'll pass, okay, so red, red. Okay, then I'll pass a yellow also here. So a yellow. Okay, so this is actually my list. Now I'll just do let me see. Okay, so I'll just do, let me see, app dot configure. Okay, now I'll just do background being equal to the list colors. Okay, so actually we have already done this let's say this function in our previous video, so you can just check it out what we are doing here. So that's pretty simple. Now I'll pass the function here, so change. Okay, now you can also pass the function as, let's say, a straight line or a single line function here. So when you want to actually let's say quit your app, it's pretty simple. You just pass you call the destroy method in your app. So let's say I stored my app name as the app, so I'll just do app, then I'll just do dot. So I'm just calling a method, so the method I want to call is destroy. So actually the app dot destroy actually quits the app. So the app is actually my app, so don't get confused. So I have these two here. So when I click on new, okay, let me do change. Okay, so change color. Okay, so when you want to create your app, so after creating your app, you can just do something like, maybe you want the user to change the background color. You just use this option, so the add command. Then I'll just do this to exit. So exit. Okay, then I'll change this to, let me say, uh, instead of using a file, I'll use app options. So let me see, okay, here should be app options. So app options. Okay, pretty simple here. Now instead of packing, I'll do it a grid here. So grid. Okay, so I've actually not let's say done a grid example here, so now I'm doing a grid example. So it contains two options, row and column. So let's say row 1, row 0, column 0, so meaning actually row 1, column 1. So simple. Now okay, so here should be a u, then I'll pass a column 0 here also. So column 0. So simple. Now let's run this code and see. So okay, so I'm getting an error down here, invalid command name menu button the menu. Okay, so let me see what I'm actually seeing here. Okay, so command. Okay, so let me see, I had to change this. Okay, so let's go again. Okay, I'm still getting this error. Let me read here. Set menu exit. Okay, app dot destroy. Okay, I think it's this line, the destroy line. Okay, so let me go again. Okay, so it's working now. So actually it's the parenthesis which was making this very difficult to do. So I'll change this also. So now let me run this code. So I'll just remove the parenthesis. Okay, so let me run this code and see. So as you can see, I have the default background white. Now I said the grid should be row 0 column 0, so as I have here row 0 column 0. Now when I click this, you can see I have changed color and exit, so I can actually drag this. So let's say I want to cut this, so you can see I've actually dragged it here, but I don't want to let's say use this feature, so I'll just use a feature called tear off. So the tear off should be 0, so let me pass it. We pass it in the menu, since we are dealing with the menu, so that the drop down is actually the menu. So tear off, so the tear off should be 0. So actually explains itself. So the tear off. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, so you can see, I can't first we had a dash up there, so you don't have it here. So now let me click on change color. Okay, so you can see I'm changing to red. Let me click on let's say change color again. Okay, so I'm still getting red. Okay, so I'm getting blue, I'm getting okay, still blue, okay, still okay, another red, and so on. So when I want to quit it, I just click exit, then it will quit. So actually this is let's say how to use the menu button in conjunction with the how to use the menu button in conjunction with the menu widget to actually achieve your, let's say, functionality in your GUI. So actually, to make this lively, I'll just print a label here. So I'll just do a label quickly, a label here. So let me see, label, then I'll say label, then I'll say welcome fellas, welcome fellas. Okay, okay, actually I should pass the app name, then I'll go to the text. So app, then I'll say text will being equal to, let's say goodbye fellas, goodbye fellas. Okay, so actually this is where we'll end in our menu button and menu widget let's say video. So it's actually a fun thing to do. So let me pack this. Okay, so label dot, let me say a grid of the row should be actually a bit of let me see 5, and the column should also be 5. So column should be 5 also. So then I'll say okay, so let me wait for it. Okay, so I'm getting this. So goodbye fellas. Okay, so this is where we'll end in this video, but we will actually do a second video on the menu, so that we will get more understanding on how to do those add dot command and so on. So I will actually do a second video for the menu widget only, then we will see how to go about it. So it's actually the menu button and the menu widget in this video. So thank you for watching, subscribe to my channel and like this video. So actually see you next week.